Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown and welcome social media family to my vlog. Giving you a little bit of a tight headshot right about now, you know what I mean? Put my face up in your grill kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? You get me though. But yeah, today is the 6th of September and it is 8:30 in the AM. And I'm going to give one of my good friends a surprise and take her out to see Yardie. I will have seen that movie like twice now, but it's not about me, it's about my friend. So I'm going to take her out to see Yardie and I'm going to take her out to dinner. And that will be my good deed for the day. Now I want to give you a little bit of an update as to what is going on with me musically. Now musically, as you are probably more than well aware, that I have more or less finished my vocals for the Brown and Bubblers project. That is actually done. I have bounced everything, I've EQ'd everything, I've put them all in zip folders, all 740 compressed megabytes of audio files. I have sent that to Bubblers. When they're uncompressed, they will basically total to at least 3.5 gigs. That's a whole heap of vocal, right? Yesterday when I sent the files to Bubblers, I phoned him just to basically let him know that they were being sent, and he was thankful, and we got into a conversation after I made a suggestion that one of the songs from the album was to be released as a single. Because I remember when I make albums, it's always suggested to me that a track comes out as a single. But I've always declined that because I just want the album to come out in its own package, in its own concept, as it were, in its own entity. So it was for that reason. But when I asked Bubblers this time around to release one of the tracks for the album, he said to me that, well, Lloyd, you can't really release, you know, the one so tune as a single, because you got to have counteractions to them. You got to have other pieces on the rhythm. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, that's what the DJs, you know, that's what the DJs want. That's how the DJs operate. It's the status quo of how the playlist runs these days on radio. And I politely disagreed with him. I said, no, not really. And he gave me a couple of examples of how rhythms can be successful. But then I didn't really need to know that, because I know how rhythms can be successful because of my involvement in the rhythm process of voicing on a rhythm that other people have voiced on. It's not so much that I'm against singing on rhythms that other people have voiced on, but what I am against is DJs determining how tunes get played on their radio station by them dictating that it's got to be a part of a serial for a song to get played. Personally, to me, that don't make an ounce of sense. Why it doesn't make an ounce of sense? Well, you can ask people like, well, if he was alive, you could ask Tony Williams, you can ask Steve Barnard, you can ask David Rodigan, you can ask John Peel, you can ask any DJ in the UK that has been in this business for at least 30 years plus and has been playing reggae on national radio, and they will give you the answer. Now, I know people's going to say, well, times have changed, you know, Lloyd. Things and times have changed, and I get all of that. And maybe it's because of the fact that I'm not considered as a juggling artist. But I will make admission to the fact that I have sung on some of the biggest rhythms on the planet. And one of them is She's Royal, on the She's Royal rhythm. Another is the Columbus rhythm with Main Squeeze and many other rhythms. You Must Know on Morgan Heritage, She's Still Loving Me. So I've done my part on those rhythms. But the reason why I voiced on those rhythms was simply to counterbalance the rhythm culture of airplay that we have in the United Kingdom as just being international artists that features on those tracks. Now, there's not really many producers that I would voice on those levels with. I can count on one hand. The late Lloyd Campbell, for one. The great Father Willie Lindo. And the Jetstar of old. Because they have afforded me big hits by singing on those rhythms. But my thing is that I understand it and I overstand it to be the status quo, where DJs will get a tune and DJs will ask, well, where's the other pieces? Where's the other pieces? Where's the other pieces? And that is just being conditioned into assuming that if somebody makes a tune, then there's got to be at least 3 or 4 other pieces to the tune. That doesn't make sense to me. The only way it makes sense to me is its cost effectiveness of writing songs, because it's going to cost more to have session musicians play on 5 different tunes when you can have 5 artists sing on one tune. That has forced the status quo in our industry that is now rhythm based, and it's been rhythm based for years now. And I'm not even saying I'm guilty of that, but I've had my reasons to sing on rhythms. And like I said, it's to simply counterbalance and show the world that we in the UK are capable of writing and arranging and performing just as strong a song as our international counterparts. You know, and I'm not blowing my trumpet, but I've proved that many, many times, to the point where Main Squeeze is my, I would say it's my third international hit, but it's my biggest international hit. Main Squeeze. It's played all over the world. So that constitutes an international hit. And that was on the basis of Barry Salmond voicing a tune called Come Down Father, and me deciding to write Main Squeeze. But I don't understand why the playlist that we have on radio has got to consist of version upon version upon version upon version upon version of a tune, when I think the mark of distinction for an artist is for an artist to voice on an original rhythm and write original lyrics and have the original lyrics on the original rhythms. I know it's a cost-effective thing. I know that. But being a pioneer is not about jumping on the same rhythm as 20 other people, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to get an overstanding from DJs, why is it that it's a prerequisite for a track that you might get in your email box or in your inbox? Why is it a prerequisite that there's got to be at least 3 pieces of the same rhythm? Why can't it just be the one rhythm? Why can't it be 3 rhythms with 3 artists on it for you? Maybe I'm not best placed to ask that question. Maybe I shouldn't ask that question. But then again, it's like, well, I'm kind of like on the outside looking in now, because I consider myself an album artist. I make albums. I don't consider myself a juggling artist anymore. To be on rhythms where DJs are juggling, it's good to kind of be featured amongst the top tier, top artists them, to raise your profile. I get all of that. If it's for that purpose, fine. But not just for the fact that there must be 3 or 4 versions on that rhythm to warrant the DJ to play it. That don't make no sense to me. Not one. A good song is a good song is a good song. If it doesn't have a counteraction, you're not going to play that song because it doesn't have a counteraction to it. Doesn't make sense to me. So DJs, please edify me as to how it makes sense to you. Yeah, that's all I can ask. Please edify me as to how that makes sense to you. Okay? Anyway, I'm gonna get myself ready and just go about my business, sort out my stuff, and take my good friend to go and see Yardi. I'll sit through it. I'll sit through it. Anyway, it's with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. And as always, you don't know the coup. People, please abstain from foolishness wherever possible. I'm in tears. And until I catch you on the next one, people stay blessed. We're gone.